let's talk street photography. I did have a POV planned instead, but unfortunately, I made the huge mistake of going into town with a setup, with my Osmo Action 4 on my chest, and doing a whole walk for a good hour, getting some images, and realizing I didn't hit record. So I'm going to talk about my setup anyway. I'm going to show you some photos, and I want to talk about a kind of street photography which I don't like, and I have issues with. And there's numerous of videos about what is street photography, what is regarded as street photography, and so I'm going to touch on that a little bit as well. Now, my background is video mainly. I've got a couple of channels on YouTube, so you may come across it. I'm not particularly famous YouTuber. Got quite a small following on YouTube, but just in case your algorithms set you upon other videos which I've done from other channels, you'll see that I do a lot of video work and semi-professional video as well as photography. So photography is not my first it's not first on my list of things that I do, but I do really enjoy photography, and this is why I've created this channel, because of my recent, in the last few years, passion for photography, and in particular street photography. So when I discuss my point of view on street photography, I think you should know what I'm coming from, who I am, and understand I have no real authority within the street photography world. I'm quite reasonably new to it, and yeah, I don't run workshops. I don't get paid to do it, so it's just little old me, my point of view. But first, I just want to talk about my setup, which I was quite eager to try. I'm going to take this mic off. DJI Mic 3. You can do the twisty up thing. Hang on. Oh, I just hit record. I can point that up to there. There we go. DJI Mic 3. I don't need glasses right now, actually. I'm just looking at my camera. I couldn't see anything, so I'm going to take those off. Anyway, so my setup for my POV video, which I plan to do, is this. Now, I recently bought the S9, Lumix S9, and for street and for travel. But I bought this cool TTArtisan 50mm f2. So, and you can see why I bought the lens, because of the very small profile, which will make it really cool for street photography and travel. And I wanted to take it out, and I wanted to try it out on the streets. I do plan to maybe take this away with me in the next couple of weeks to New England. So I wanted to just get used to the lens, try it out, and take it out and about. I also wanted to try I've made a couple of picture profiles, because one good thing about the S9 is you can create custom profiles to use, and that applies to the JPEGs, and you can just take it off the SD card or transfer it to your phone and just post without any editing. So I wanted to try that out as well. I've got a black and white, grainy, filmy kind of look, which I created with the Hansa, which I'll put a link somewhere for. So I wanted to try that out as well. So that was the whole point of the POV photo walk. So yeah, I mean, the lens, really nice metal, feels really lovely to manually focus. You've got the aperture soft clicks, and it's very smooth, as well as the focus. It feels very well dampened, so focusing is very nice. Decently long throw for accuracy, but with the S9 you have to activate when in manual focus mode, you have to activate or set a button to activate punching in to get focus. So that's a bit finicky on the S9, because there's no connections for the manual lens. It doesn't signal to the camera. It's in manual focus mode, so it doesn't automatically punch in when you're getting focused manually. So you can see for yourself how the photos turned out. And quite nice, I thought. Still not perfect, not the best shots ever taken, but I was happy with what I was getting with this setup. Now, let's talk street photography. So, street photography, there are many different street photographers, different styles of street photography. People have different approaches to street photography. But one particular kind of street photography that I don't like doing it, and I don't like the end results. And that's this portraiture style street photography. I see a lot of videos of people going up to random people on the street going, "Hey, I like your look. Can I take your photo?" And they go, "Oh my God, yeah." Or they say, "No, I don't want my photo taken." And for me, that's not street photography. For me, personally, I don't think it's street photography. I thought street photography was about reality, candidness, in the moment, documentary kind of. Well, it very much so documentary. Specifically to ask for photos in the street, it's just portraitures in the street. Like there's nothing other than it being in the street. For me, it doesn't really scream street photography. I don't see the point in it. And also you hear a lot of these street photographers talking about, getting out of your comfort zone and getting involved in the street and getting involved and speaking to people and being an extrovert. And like, that sounds more of a borderline narcissistic approach to street photography. Like the idea that you would get involved in what's around you, like I don't see that as street photography. That's more like an event photographer, I guess. You get in the midst of it all, and you get people to pose and whatever else. Street photography for me is it's kind of like National Geographic. You know what I mean? You get these photographers in these situations and they're out of the way. All right, they're watching what's going on around them, and they're anticipating things, and they're trying to tell a story and capture moments. You're not controlling anything. It's just you're there in the moment, trying to get shots that tell a story, that convey emotion. And I think to do that successfully, it's about being back, not being involved. And like I said, anticipating moments. Now, my photography isn't the best ever, but the approach I think that I take for the type of shots that I want to take, I think, me personally, it's what street photography is all about. Candid moments on the streets, asking for photographs. You're contaminating the scenes before you. You're getting involved, and I just think that's one of the biggest sins for a street photographer. And anybody who disagrees, fine, that's your forte, that's what you want to do, that's fine. It's not my cup of tea, and you may think what I'm saying is incorrect, and that's absolutely your opinion, and you're welcome to it. But I just think that any photographer who wants to do street, it's not about you, it's about the street, and that's where you're there to document and photograph. And I think that's what it should be. Is that controversial? I don't know, you tell me. But that's my point of view. So, again, I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm a bit of a voyeur, I guess. And people who probably don't do street photography might like, "Oh, why would you want to take photos of people in the streets? That's weird, you're creepy," and all the rest of it. And yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but the compulsion to do this, the reasons to do this, is to document. I think a lot of photographers are quite nostalgic. I think a lot of photographers appreciate time and moments, and I think that's what these cameras are for, is to capture moments in time and preserve it. And when I do that, I want to preserve the moment in its most natural form and setting. And I think that way you get a real sense of that time. And that's why I enjoy this approach. Very natural, very candid. And I think I would like my photos, as part of the many photos taken of the areas which I visited and photographed, to help tell a story of that time. And if I can be part of that, great. Many years ago, our local area was being bulldozed down and built up, you know, fancy new shopping centres and stuff. And before that happened, I had an old Canon camera, and I was just getting into photography, and I felt the need to go around my local area and take photographs of these buildings which had been there since I was a kid. And I did, and it was in the middle of the day and people were busy going in and out of shops and the local pubs and everything else. And somebody actually shouted over and said to me, "You shouldn't be doing that, taking photos in public, blah, 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 blah." And I just ignored that person and I carried on. Years later, after everything was knocked down, the shopping centre, the local chippy, there was a day centre, loads of buildings knocked down. And I uploaded the photos of the area before it was knocked down. And the amount of love and appreciation people had for those photos, the memories of that area, of going into those buildings, those shopping centres, hanging around outside the chip shop, you know, after school and what have you. People were just like thanking me for taking those photos. And that's partly why I do it. Is to record and capture time and moments to look back on and enjoy. Hope you enjoy my photos. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Jimmy Suarez. Much appreciated. Thank you and goodbye.